We heard from President Obama today on the fatal police shooting of an unarmed man in Ferguson, Missouri. The president said the death of Michael Brown last weekend is heartbreaking, and he urged Americans to talk with one another in a way that heals rather than wounds. Dean Reynolds tells us there was more unrest in the St. Louis suburb last night.
Once again, community frustration quickly ignited the fuse of violence. Young people threw rocks and police responded with rubber bullets and tear gas. So that's a bullet hole from the other night?
Yes, sir.
Donald Harry watched from his front door for the second consecutive night. You heard gunfire last night?
Yes, I did.
And somebody up the street was shooting?
Somebody up the street was shooting.
Harry and others in Ferguson told us relations with the almost all-white police force in this largely black community had not been much of an issue before Saturday. But this week's anger is fueled by mistrust in the methodical, by-the-book police investigation into Saturday's broad daylight shooting of Michael Brown. The unarmed 18-year-old was stopped initially for walking in the street, but wound up being shot repeatedly by a white officer. Tom Jackson is the chief of police.
There was a struggle inside the officer's car, and then there was an additional struggle outside of the car.
But a friend said Brown had his hands up when he was killed. The officer's name has not been released because police fear retribution.
I don't think for a second he had a problem with my son. I think he has a problem with himself.
We spoke with Leslie McSpadden, Michael Brown's mother.
What would you say to this police officer?
You know what I say to him? The same thing I would say to my son if he did something wrong and he know he did something wrong. You take your punishment. And if you're a man, you stand up, you be a man, you say, I was wrong. That's how we was taught. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Michael Brown's mother also told us she is deeply concerned about the violence that has come after her son's death, saying she feels caught between the protesters and the police. And once again today, Scott, she called for calm.
Dean Reynolds in Ferguson for us this evening. Thank you, Dean.